For a while, there's been discussion about an AFL Reserves League, an entirely new competition that would sit between the AFL and the state leagues, where all 18 AFL teams would have their own sides made up of their reserve players. Over the last few years, we've been moving closer to this becoming a reality. With the NEFL folding and merging with the VFL, the Victorian League is now made up of teams from Victoria, Queensland and New South Wales. The new Tasmanian team is set to enter the VFL by 2025, in preparation for their entry into the AFL in 2028, and there's been rumours recently that Port Adelaide's SANFL side, the Port Adelaide Magpies, are looking to leave the SANFL and will request to join the VFL for the 2025 season. This means that by 2025, the VFL will be comprised of teams from Victoria, Queensland, New South Wales, Tasmania and South Australia, while 16 of the AFL's 19 teams will have affiliate sides in the VFL. At that point, it almost seems ridiculous not to have an AFL Reserves League. While the benefits of a Reserves League are obvious for AFL teams, it does raise some interesting questions. Would this basically kill state leagues? State leagues already struggle to find relevance in the AFL era, and a Reserves League would take them from the second tier competition to the third tier competition. On the other hand, there is an argument to be made that the state leagues are completely compromised when certain teams have AFL listed players and others don't. Perhaps an AFL Reserves League would restore some legitimacy to the state leagues. Another interesting question presented by Port Adelaide moving to the VFL is what would happen to their identity. The Port Adelaide Magpies have a strong history in the SANFL, but a move to the VFL, where Collingwood already exists, is essentially a repeat of the situation that occurred when Port joined the AFL. The only difference this time is that this is the actual Port Adelaide Magpies moving to a new league. So would they have to drop the Magpies nickname and the prison bar Guernsey for good? I can't imagine them wanting to do that. And even if the AFL Reserves League happens instead, would the Port Adelaide Magpies still exist in the SANFL? It's probably also a given that the AFL Reserves teams would wear the same Guernseys as their AFL counterparts, but I'd actually prefer them to have jumper designs of their own, similar to what Adelaide did when they first joined the SANFL. Whether that's revisiting fan favourite retro designs, such as Collingwood finally finding a permanent use for the swooping Magpie Guernsey, or similarly with North and their bounding Roo jumper, an alternate version of the team's current design, or something completely new and unique for these teams. I like the idea of giving the reserves teams a similar but unique look rather than just identical copies of the AFL Guernseys. Let me know what you think of a potential AFL Reserves League in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.